Welcome to the Build Insight podcast. Real people, real insights. Step into the world of innovative construction, one conversation at a time.
Today's episode is part 2 of the live podcast with Jesse Raeburn, Dale Cheeseman, and Matt Minichelli. If you missed last week's part 1, head back and catch up on those insights. Otherwise, enjoy the episode.
Guys, I know there's a question that everybody always wants to know, whether there's a secret answer to it or not, but how do you guys, as you continue to grow and expand your business as well, you need to rely heavily on your team members. How do you go about building a team that you trust and onboarding people and finding the right people that aren't just, skillful tradies, that they're the right team to actually fit what you guys want to do?
I think what Matt was saying, like-minded people, like we want progression. I like to see people that have the attitude that want to improve constantly. I played a lot of footy, and you win by 100 points, but you're still analysing what went wrong and how you could have been better. So I think in the same in our business is we're constantly trying to become better, and the world changes so quickly and currently with AI, is you want to be seeing your staff and who you're bringing on want to be on that same path as you. But also too, you got, I always look at how long they've been in the past jobs. You don't want to see people hopping, they've been there for a year and they're another place. So probably I'd like to see someone has been at another builder for 3 or 4 years if you're going to hire them, to show them, to see that they've got loyalty.
Yeah. Just for the audience, we are going to start some questions in a minute. So if you've got a question, pop your hand up and I think Mick will get the PA and stuff going on. Jesse, was going to say with you're fresh in business. Like, what's probably the biggest takeaway so far in business that you could pinpoint to from you now to the kickoff period?
I just think probably the biggest thing I learned is just like communication with the client. And like, I just keep telling myself every uncomfortable conversation is not an uncomfortable conversation. It's just something that needs to be said or had. And I'm like constantly getting better at having that conversation before it becomes an issue. Because I've got enough stress in my life, so I try to remove anxiety. I think anxiety is caused by not doing something that you should do, because it just sits there in the back of the mind going, I need to send this email, I need to have this phone call. So I'm just trying to get in front of it with like everyone. And as soon as you have the conversation, it feels like the weight of the world's off your shoulders, you stand up and you can just keep going on with your day rather than just carrying it around. So I think, the last 2 years, just getting a lot better at communicating with clients and actually talking to them. Even though I'm still asking Matty, I need to have this uncomfortable conversation now. So I said to Matt, I'm like, what would you do? I think what you said about the peers, fantastic. So many of my mates are builders and developers doing it a lot longer. And man, everybody is happy to help. Yeah. Everybody's happy to help. I give them advice, they give me advice. But just get better at communicating.
And I don't know that those uncomfortable conversations get any more comfortable, but at least you get better at having them rather than avoiding them.
Well, I lie to myself and tell myself it's not an uncomfortable conversation, it's just a conversation, even though I know it's going to be uncomfortable. So then I'm not delaying it. I just need to have this conversation, pick up the phone. So far it's working.
Anyone needs help with that, feel free to ask for Jesse.
All right, we got any questions, guys?
The recorded question was, what's the biggest challenge you've had in your business and how did you overcome it?
Oh, for us as a new business, it was signing the first $1 million contract. We signed that 9 months into starting. So trying to convince someone to let us build their house for $1.6 million, having never built a house, that was a pretty big challenge. So I just got pretty good at communicating and put a lot of extra effort into the quote. That was one thing that I found helped at the start is, and I was just very detailed with our quote and very open and transparent about our costings and margins and profits that we were making. And it seemed to resonate with everyone. Everyone liked the fact that whether it was 20% or 30%, people just liked to, probably appreciated the honesty of knowing how much we were making, and then they felt comfortable to sign. So, it's
a huge part. It's a huge part about becoming a business owner as well. You actually a big part of that role is becoming a salesman.
Yeah, well, I had 10 years experience in sales, so...
I wasn't sure whether you wanted to bring that up or not.
Yeah, it was pretty... I think, that was the biggest obstacle for us, is signing the first $1 million contract, and now everything in the pipeline is over $1 million.
I would say challenges from my end is every 3 years I find that you hit a speed hump, and it's really hard to hold back growth, and it's organic to grow. and your projects get bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden you need to hire better staff, better managers, and more of a team. So once you start hitting these big renovations and big revenue, you've got to sustain that. So then you've got to go out and keep finding it. So that's the biggest challenge from my end is having to, you might win a big job and you have a beer and celebrate, but you know that you've got more work to do in another couple of years to sustain the staff that you put on. So they're probably the biggest challenges that I face.
You don't get a long settle period as the business.
No, well, you can't just go up and down. Like, you can't just go and do a $5 million renovation and then go back to doing a $500,000 renovation. Your team is big and you're paying, more money for better people. So that's the hardest bit, is to stop. It's not stopping growth, but I always say you're holding the handbrake, because if sometimes you can just go and off you go, but you can't sustain that. So healthy growth, I don't know what it is, but it's always tough.
For over 130 years, Bowens has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
The family that have been here for generations, Bowens, has been powering the Australian building industry with family values, trusted service and the drive to make our industry better. They're helping us provide you the insights that matter. Build insight together with Bowens.
Real people,
real insights.
I think from my end, to be transparent, I'm probably somewhat in it at the moment. The past 6 months, I've sort of been trying to somewhat transition the business and change the systems and processes and structures. I've had the business 12 years now, and it's been heavily reliant on me doing the heavy lifting, the grunt work, 60, 80, 90 hours a week, which worked. The longevity that was in that was probably, there was a time horizon on it. So I've sort of come to that realisation, and it's the difficult thing is trying to still deliver the same, hit the same revenue numbers, maintain the same overheads by sort of me pulling back, getting out of my own way, getting out of the team's way for them to step into my role and branch out, but then at the same time making sure that it works, mitigate mistakes, mitigate increased overheads and all those sort of things, just to make sure that the numbers still checked out. Because at the end of the day, I sort of realised probably 6-12 months ago that I was working like an animal in terms of hours spent, and really probably wasn't rewarding myself for it. Now I'm trying to sort of get back that quality time with family and things like that. But because I was doing it out of love and free of charge, if we still want to deliver that same product, someone's got to step into that role, and they're not going to do it for love or free of charge. They're going to charge for it. So I've got to be able to either factor that in or work out a way to still deliver it. And I say to the team, like, the quality of the projects that we deliver is the baseline for our next one, right? So if I can't really afford, or my pride gets in the way, I don't want to deliver something that's substandard because I'm going through a bit of a transition or I'm pulling away. So I've got to make sure that we're still hitting those deliverables while pulling away. So to be honest, Sammy, I'm probably in it at the moment. I don't have too many answers. I'll let you know in probably 12 months' time.
I think it's making sure, though, Matt, you've got Elevate, and it's probably a lot of your personality and everything that you've brought over the last 10 plus years. Like you said, it's about keeping your DNA. And that we lost our DNA for a couple of years because there was too many layers of people. So it's probably drawing up where did we start, what was our values, and making sure that your managers are upholding those values that started 15 years ago.
Well, just on that, it goes back to the previous question about retaining staff and culture and those sort of things. I've actually still got my first 2 apprentices. So we've been running 12 years. Louis, he was my first. Josh, he was my second. Louis actually just got his builder's licence. He's not going anywhere just yet. He's actually using his supervisor and leading hand carpenter for me. But I've got a substantial team of carpenters, and I was obviously giving him supplement labour to deliver his projects, but now he's basically looking at bundling it up in his own carpentry package. So we've still got that working relationship, but the dynamics of the working relationship is tweaked a little bit. From my preference, I'm all for it because he can earn more of a dollar because he's providing the labour. He's taking another step in terms of business, but we've still got that working relationship and that mutual respect. So it's in terms of keeping the DNA, it's still there. It's just in a little bit of a different form. So.
The recorded question was, what's the biggest thing you're most proud of in your business so far?
Most proud of, we invested in a CNC machine 9 years ago. And that changed our business completely. It meant that we started, it was the event phase where we were doing pop-ups, temporary structures, which is a pretty much fit-out company in a way. And then that's turned into a joinery company. So Sean my business partner runs the joinery side. We do a lot of joinery for other builders. We understand other builders because we are builders. So that communication is really transparent. So I'm most proud of investing back into our business rather than taking it and, on holidays or whatever it was. But at the time we had no kids and we invested into machines.
I don't know. Well, I'm 2 years in, about to complete my first development, which is pretty exciting. The goal is to just be doing our own developments like full time. So hopefully, I don't know, next time you see me here in maybe 2 years' time, it'll be no client build, all personal projects. Pretty excited to do it because I did all the architecture, all the interiors, have built like a pretty amazing house that I think is worthy in magazines. So I'm pretty proud of that at the moment. I had a buyer come through today and my backyard was a swimming pool, so I wasn't too happy with that. But that's the joys of building, isn't it?
Definitely. Matty?
From my end, it's a tough question from Sammy. I'm not going to put it down to one individual thing. My whole mentality and mindset on work ethic and all that sort of thing is pretty much just say yes. So from the early days, it was just like maybe I had a chip on my shoulder or probably an inflated ego or thoughts of my ability. But I said yes from an early stage and just I got rewarded for it, doors opened subsequently, and then it just snowballed. And the more you branch out, the bigger team, the more opportunities arise. You keep saying yes, you have a crack. Some go somewhere, some go nowhere, some go backwards. But what I'm most proud of is just backing myself in and having a red hot crack. Good days, bad days, but at the end of the day, the sun will always rise tomorrow. So just keep moving forward and keep saying yes, and
I think
with a smile.
Too similar, you've got to do some jobs, not for free, but for cost to get a leg up. And I don't think too many are doing it these days where, their accountant tells them that this is the margin you've got to charge and you can't go under it. Well, we've done plenty of jobs for just cost. And that's whether it's from a social media point, whether it's friends that that have got a big network. And I'm sure, with the block, you probably did many hours that you probably didn't get paid for, whatever it was. And same as you, Jess, like you got to do some hours and not get paid because it's a long-term investment.
But just on that, like the jobs that you may have done at cost, right? There wouldn't have been any margin on it, but subsequently what opportunities arose from that? And then those opportunities, more came from that. Yeah. So it's like, it's a compounding effect and it's a snowball effect.
Well, your margin changes. You've got to change it. You change it for the right job. And if that's the job you want and that it can open more doors, then bring your margin down because it's going to pay off in the future.
Look at it as an investment.
Yeah.
Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne.
With everything from wall and ceiling linings, doors, architectural hardware, cladding and flooring.
This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
We're looking at a big job now in Parkdale. It's like a 100-square home with a basement. The guys are concreters, so the whole thing's in situ concrete. He'll do the structure. I had a meeting with him last week to talk about margin on it. And we will do that for very, very little margin, but we'll still get paid. But I look at it and go, well, if this is a $5 million build and we can put our name to it, where does that lead? So exactly what you're talking about. I think being very particular about the work you want to do, the margins, and it's not always about trying to hit that big profit because it does lead to other things.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Actually, while Dale brought up the block there, Matty, you were on for many seasons. Were you on the season Jesse was a contestant?
Yeah,
it
with Tess
was.
and Luke, he was.
Not. We were rivals then. We're friends now. We're actually bookends, weren't we?
We were bookends.
I said to Jesse when we had him on last year, I was like, I've never really watched it, but I watched his season.
Nah,
it was absolutely funny as.
Yeah, we had some fun. It was good.
We had a lot of fun, yeah.
Some late nights, but
that was the big season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not surprised, mate, with the two of you in the one season.
I wish Matty was our builder.
Get the microphone off Sammy. He's just been on a podcast too. Lukey.
Yeah, last one, guys. We're going to wrap this
there.
up after this question because we need a little bit of time for networking at the end. If you don't get a chance to ask a question, don't feel that you can't, because in the networking session, these guys are still going to be hanging around as well. So if you had to grab them and ask them. But wrap us up, Luke.
The recorded question was, how do you guys approach client communication and phone calls? What have you learned about setting boundaries early so you're not constantly available?
I think when you get bigger, you start to bring the rope in. When I first started out, I had the energy. I wanted to speak to people. You wanted to give them as much as you can. But then as the business grows and the jobs get bigger and you get more staff, I think setting boundaries really early. And, like I used to, back with jobs when clients can come on site, which they're not allowed to, but I was like, it's your house, it's your land, come whenever you want. But now that's already changed where I'm like, you're not allowed in every fortnight. So I think you've just got to tighten up the screw in saying that I'm not available all the time, and if your questions, I know it's hard, but I'll grab you for time management skills as well, because I need the block system. and it's never encouragement.
Just on that, Seti, I think that it more comes back to you. You've got to set those boundaries. So I couldn't tell you the last time I had a phone conversation with one of my clients, right? Like, I let them know that we do most of the time weekly site meetings. They know that's their time. They can send like a message through. We've just had overseas clients, so we had a WhatsApp going. So there's the text there, and if it wasn't written back to straight away, that's fine. But you've got to set those boundaries with them and take the guilt away. Like, they know you're running a business. You've just got to set those boundaries, really.
And it's also protecting sort of your brain power as well. If the client knows I'm not going to call my builder because they probably won't answer the phone, as you mentioned, setting the precedent early, the client will be more inclined just to send you an email. And then if you see the email come through, you can choose whether you open it or not. You can choose when to read it. So then that's giving you the power back as to when you put the time and attention into their job. Because if you're preoccupied with something else, you're not going to open an email and read it and change where you're putting your time.
But you want to
energy.
keep the client happy, so you answer the phone. It's a catch-22.
Yeah, you set the boundaries, they'll learn to respect that. Yeah.
You can't do it with the current client you got now, but I think you live and learn on the next job and how this is the communication.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Well, one more for you guys before we start wrapping up. Normally do a rapid fire, but we'll just keep it to one today. Maybe start with you, Jesse.
Sure.
What does success look like in 5 years? Personal answer, not a business one, mate.
Personal answer?
Yeah.
I'll drop my kids off to school and pick them up every day. That's the dream. And then everything else that comes in between. But yeah, not having to be at work at any certain time or hour a day, and the business just runs like without me being there. That is the personal goal.
Beautiful.
Probably having a house that's finished. Is it rapid fire? Is that
That's good.
That's good.
I'm actually agreeing with the two blokes beside me. But yeah, a completely finished house and picking up my kids and dropping them off. It's it's that balance between sort of freedom. You've never got the perfect balance, but the ability to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And then also the ability to actually finish a job that you start.
Yeah, your own.
That's your own. No, agreed.
Love it.
All right, guys, that's all we've got time for, because we want to make sure that there's enough time for everybody to catch up and have a drink, go check out the suppliers downstairs and ask any more questions to you guys individually after. So thanks again for your time coming in today, guys. I hope you guys got a lot out of it in the crowd as well. Like I said, if you didn't get a chance to ask a question, feel free to grab one of these guys after. But quick round of applause for these guys to come up and chat to you guys. Done. All right, so from here, we've just got we'll probably give you 5 minutes maybe just to go if you need to go to the bathroom, grab a quick drink, something to eat or whatever, and then we'll grab you back just for probably another 5 minutes, just a bit of a wrap up. We've got a few more giveaways, and then we'll just get into the networking for the last of it. So shirt off now, we'll give you 5 minutes, and then we'll call you all back up here again, please, for the last little closer.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to find out more about Build Insight, head over to the website buildinsite.com.au. Over on the website, you'll find links to previous podcast episodes, as well as our YouTube channel, Instagram and Facebook. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.
Well, that's a wrap for another week's episode of the Build Insight podcast. Before we leave, just want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors for their ongoing support. Without their help, Build Insight wouldn't be what it is today.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.